Losses like this one tend to stick around the team a little bit longer.
They do. Any loss, right? It's a tough one to deal with. After the game, obviously today we got to go back through it. But I will say there was a lot of good too that came out of this football game. Things that we can coach and teach and correct and show the guys. So. But yeah, games like this are they're always going to hurt.
Coach, did the offense get conservative, or did you get conservative as a play caller, whoever was calling plays in the second half? Or did you look at 17-7, the defense is playing pretty doggone good, there's no need to air it out too much?
I don't know what game you were watching because we had a backed-up drive started at the 3-yard line. We ripped off a 26-yard run, I think, and then we came back and hit Gabe, and we hit TJ in the flat. Next thing you know, we're at the 15, and we fumble going in. So that's pretty aggressive to me in the second half. So, no, I don't feel like, I elected to go for it, on our end of the field, showing sign of aggressiveness there. Defense did a great job of stopping them and missing a kick, so kind of a wash. But, no, not at all. We just third downs was our nemesis.
And Brian didn't get a target in the second half. Was that a factor of wasn't open, Trevor wasn't getting enough time, maybe things weren't getting called his way like they were in the first half?
No. You look at it's really the tale of two halves. I mean, offensively, I felt like in the second half we did some good things in the run game to try to, stay ahead, which we did. But it was nothing in the game plan that took us away from not throwing it to Brian or not throwing it to Gabe or Christian. If you go back and look at some of the third downs that we had, they were in unique situations that, and they were third and really long, and gave up a couple sacks in those situations too.
What about Tyson? Can you give us an update on his
Yeah, he's gonna miss some time.
The hope that you could have him back before London, or
I'm not gonna put him in a box that way. I'm not gonna put any expectations on it. We're just gonna let him go, week to week and see where he comes.
any other injuries, Cisco, Foye?
No, everybody's good.
You talked last year about, in the second half of the season, about, it was hard to find a player that could be the spark to kind of get it turned around. Is it a concern that obviously after the ETN fumble, a full quarter, and no one was really able to make that kind of play so that you guys could walk out of there with a win?
Are you asking if there's one specific player?
Just in general.
As opposed to what? In general.
As
I guess I don't understand the question.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Just, is it a concern that you guys had trouble closing at the end of last year? And you go into this game and you're about to go up 17, but unfortunately a very good player fumbles, but there's 17 minutes left of game time, and it didn't seem like anybody really played well in the final 17 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, you take a look, you take that play away, or say you make that play, right? You're in the end zone, it's 24-7 at the end of the third, right? And then you're kicking off as opposed to giving them the ball at the 20. We can stand here and play shoulda, woulda, coulda all day long. Bottom line is, we did not do enough to finish the football game, and these are all the things that as coaches and players, we need to fix. We need to fix and get corrected before this week.
How did your offensive line play? I mean, all anyone remembers or will remember those last 2 sacks, but how did they play up to that point, and how you grade it?
To me, sacks are a combination of a lot of different things. There's a lot of factors. Miami was in 2-man on the last one. Great job. Covered us up, right? The other one, Trevor was off on his progression a little bit, and it happens. So there's quarterbacks, there's the offensive line, there's receivers, there's the defense. So sacks Sacks can go a bunch of different directions. So from that standpoint, we need to again just be better in those situations. And what was the second half of your first half?
Tell us how the offensive line played. There's been a lot of
Offensive
attention
line.
paid to this.
That's what we were talking about.
Yeah.
You distracted me with the sacks. If you look at the bottom line, you rushed for 128 yards. On paper, great, right? Great, and they played really well. Now, we got to do better in short yardage. We got to do better in 4th and 1. We got to do better in certain areas. But overall, I thought they played physical. They came off the football. We had, I think, a few communication errors that took us off some blocking schemes. All things that we can fix and get better.
How do you fix the 3rd and 1 and 4th and 1 problem?
Keep doing it. Keep doing it. Keep doing it. I'm going to continue to trust the players. We're going to continue to put them in good situations and good plays, and we'll just continue to execute better.
Was Tank one of the bright spots? Was that his best game as a pro?
Probably so. Probably so. Still a little room for improvement, but he did some nice things, and there's some things that we got to continue to, as a young player, continue to detail with him as well.
Can a game like that give him confidence?
Sure.
With Tyson, obviously Buster winning yesterday, is the plan kind of Buster moving forward, or just kind of seeing during
We'll
the
see.
week?
Yeah, we'll see how the week goes, what the plan's going to be, and how Ryan wants to handle that.
What did you think of Jari and the way he played early, especially getting matched up on Tyreek pretty much right away?
I thought he played really well. I didn't think there was much hesitation in his play. He did the things he was asked to do. He played physical, and what we saw in training camp. So, to go against somebody like Tyreek, your first game out as an NFL, as a pro, I mean, that's a large task. And thought he did a nice job. I thought Darby did a nice job. Again, we got some things we got to clean up back there, but overall, the guys played hard. They played physical.
The 63-yarder, I think, to Waddle or whatever, was that just a matter of not expecting him coming across the middle of the field with Cisco back there?
It's just we were in cover 2, and unfortunately, I'll say this, and I'll never do this. We have to coach the play better.
That 80-yarder, was that a play you just kind of hat tip to them? It seemed like it was a good design.
We need to coach it better. I mean, it's the play they ran all game.
It looked like in the fourth quarter it was almost exclusively run plays offensively until that final drive where there was a couple passes at the end where the sacks. Was that by design specifically, or was it just situational football? Or
When you say by design, that I don't know. There's a time in the game where we as coaches, offensive coaches, felt like our offensive line was taking over the football game. And when you get in that sort of frame of mind, the idea, especially when the big guys are feeling it a little bit, as we say, is you continue to run the football, right? And if that's by design, then that's what we did. If it's by execution, then that's what we did. If it's by our offensive line playing well, then that's what we did. You know what I'm saying? So if we needed to throw the ball in those, listen, 3 minutes to go in the game, it's 17-17. Game was not won or lost at that particular time. We didn't do enough at the end of the game offensively to stay on the field, which came down to third downs, and we had some second down situations in there. So those are all things that we need to fix.
Can you, after watching the tape, with Trevor's performance yesterday, how would you?
I mean, it was good. It wasn't. There's some things that we showed him today that we can get better at. You know, and it's just a matter of him just again just continuing to see it, trust it. But I'll tell you this, he made some really good throws too. Be able to see BT on the first deep pass, for the DPI, and then the throw to him for the touchdown, and Gabe a couple of times. He made some really good throws, and just things that we're going to continue to work with, and but we know we got to get better there, pitching and catching.
You mentioned the throw to Brian in the back of the end zone. From your vantage point, did you see it happening? It almost looked like he's just kind of putting it out there, throwing it away to make sure no one else got it.
To your eye.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Your vantage point, I mean.
You don't see practice like we do. So that's a play we repped in practice, and he made the exact same throw over the safety. So we make sure that we try to put our players in these situations during the week of practice so that when they get to the game, they can execute well. So there wasn't much room back there, and it was a perfectly placed, it might have been like the Atlanta preseason game where you might have been thinking that he was throwing the ball away to Evan, and Evan comes down with the touchdown. So just a great throw, great catch by two players that we practice all the time in our red zone days.
You don't watch practice.
Absolutely not.
That sounds like an offer, didn't it?
What's the challenge in terms of personnel and with just a quarterback sneak when you need a yard and not having him put the ball over, but just get low and have a couple players behind him just basically push into him and see if you can get a yard that way? Is it just a personnel thing that you just don't feel comfortable that that'll work?
Yeah, those work. They do work. It was more than a yard. It was about a yard and a ball, so it's a little bit harder in those situations. To get the full yard and a half on a sneak. And we look for opportunities. I mean, the even on the fourth down play, it was you saw Trevor, stand up and gesture and do different things, and there are opportunities. But when the look doesn't present itself, we have to do something else. But we'll always look for opportunities to sneak the football.
Looked like Devin Lloyd made a lot of plays out there. Did you guys feel good about his performance?
Yeah, Devin. Yeah, I thought Devin played really, really fast, played physical. He was downhill. He took on blockers, and tackled well in space. I thought he, played real well.
Overall against the run?
Good. I think the Tua had the longest run of the day. I think it was a scramble potentially. So I thought against the run we did some really good things, stopping that, and to me it just came down to those three plays. It was 182 yards and three pass plays, and the first 3rd and 8 screen went for 39, I think, then the 63 and the 80. So those are the plays we have to eliminate, and I think it's a different outcome.
Did you get what you expected out of Eric for a guy who
Yeah.
hadn't done much?
Yeah.
Didn't look like he didn't have any, didn't look like the time off impacted him, right?
Right.
Anybody else? Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, Doug.
Thanks, guys.